So thank you, Ernest, and good morning to everybody. Welcome to Brussels and its heat wave. Well, I know that a lot of you, they come from a part where it's usual to have this kind of weather, but not here. And I think that it clearly reminds us that we need to go on with our work and convictions. The event we are hosting today as a part of the CCSBoost project demonstrates and confirms ACR Plus commitment to sustainable resource management and what it should look like today and in the future. Rethinking value chains, adapting the production and consumption patterns to emerging challenges and threats Europe is facing. Developing business models which would make sustainable resource management feasible and attractive for investments, and supporting our cities and regions to embed these in their strategies. In fact, we just came back from Pamplona in the region of Navarra in Spain. It was quite hot also there, where ACR Plus had its General Assembly last week, coupled with a conference on bioeconomy, gathering a variety of actors and stakeholders of the value chain. And indeed, because at ACR Plus, we believe that by fostering collaboration, sharing knowledge, and building capacities, not only among public authorities, but also with NGOs, universities, these research centers, and industry, we can create a network of cities and regions equipped to address the environmental challenges of today and tomorrow. I always like to recall the Greek origins for you of the word ecology and economy, both derived from the word oikos, right. Meaning house or home. And this shared origin reminds us that economic and ecological concerns are not opposing forces, but two dimensions of the same reality. At ACR Plus, we envision vibrant cities and regions where economic development and environmental protection go hand in hand, supported by policies that ensure a fair distribution of wealth and resources, equitable access to public services, and positive outcomes for both public health and environment. The efforts some regions are putting in demonstrating this transition, the uptake of circular systemic solutions in the society, and most importantly, proving that their work is what we should be mainstreamed more. This is why I'm really happy that we were able to put together the EU Green Week Partners event, and that you showed up online and offline with such numbers. Content-wise, we try to combine the best of the work and knowledge we recently conducted and acquired through cooperating with exceptional experts. You are here, front-running regions, innovating projects, and seeing what the agenda looks like. I believe we succeeded in that. And therefore, I wish you all an inspiring and fruitful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Françoise.
I leave you discussing and sharing knowledge together, and I really believe that it's more than needed today. So, yeah, enjoy your stay here in the fresh room.
Online. Across the little kitchenette. So if you have questions about ACR Plus, I will later talk to you, because I have spent the last 10 years in ACR Plus, and I only learned today that you speak Greek. I didn't know that.
Only one word.
Only one word. Okay.
At the moment, yeah.
Okay.
Kalimera, kalispera, yasu. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Françoise. Yes, so Françoise mentioned the agenda. We have 3 hours in front of us. Something very important that Françoise also mentioned, that this is an EU Green Week partner event. Yes, we are 3 weeks after the official Green Week, but the whole month of June was dedicated to the Green Week partner events, and we managed to find this date because June was quite packed. Françoise mentioned the General Assembly we had last week. We had the General Assembly of CSSBoost the first week of June. So yeah, an action-packed June, and I'm happy that all the knowledge that we will share today, and I know that some other projects had their General Assemblies also last week or 2 weeks ago. So the knowledge is fresh, and that's good for this event. It's the project that is, well, this event is organized by is CSSBoost, that you probably heard about, and I'm really happy that Yorgos made it from Crete to Brussels today, and Maria as well. And I will now give you the floor to tell us more about CSSBoost, probably where we are, what we learned so far, and what is left to be done. We have, what, a year and a half left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I prepared a presentation. It's not a short presentation, but I know I'll go through that quickly, especially in some slides. I have 15 minutes according to the schedule, but I promise that in the other session I'm not going to present something.
You have 15, you spent 11 on the tax side.
Okay, so that means I have 4. Okay. There are three different sections in this presentation. One is putting the stage, what is about CSSBoost, but not only what is about CSSBoost, because the main discussion today is about this circular systemic solution, the systemic nature of circularity, and why it is important, why it is needed, what is the state of play here in now in Europe. Then probably I'll present something for CSSBoost. I have many slides, but I go through that very quickly. It's not so important to that, and finishing by some lesson learned and probably raising some questions that will drive our discussion today. So let's go to the initial presentation. This is the systemic circular economy. This is our discussion. And okay, this is something that it is a slide that shows that the goal and the framework. We all are familiar with the vision in Europe regarding the circularity and the transition to a circular Europe, a Europe where waste becomes a resource, a continent not defined by limits by endless possibility, and probably we are all familiar with the state of play today in Europe. We have we go forward through some key strategic pillars like resource efficiency, climate neutrality, resilient industry, digital transition, social innovation. We are all aware of that. Also, we have some strategic regulatory frameworks that we trust on them. We go on with them. For example, the European Green Deal, it's the oldest one. The Circular Economy Action Plan is very important. That introduce a lot of concepts that we are discussing, circular raw material, eco-design for sustainable product regulation, and the newly introduced last year Clean Industrial Deal, which is very important. And on the implementation level, we have different initiatives that support it, like the CCRI, which is in our case, and also the hubs for circularity, for example, that we are familiar with that. In fact, there's a community of practice behind that is the Project for Planet partnership and the SPIRE. Let's go next. Here is the important part. What is the reality? This was a vision, but what is the status now about circular economy in Europe? And the message here is that, unfortunately, even if we made a lot of progress, we are still behind what have been designed, what have been expected behind. And I found 2 reports putting here, one from the European Environmental Agency and one from European Court of Auditors, that says that we are still very behind the goals that we put, for example, for doubling the share of circular materials by 2030. We're still very behind that, and also the total consumption of raw materials, not secondary raw materials, still are at a level that exceeds the planetary boundaries. Also, all member states are behind. They have lower indicators, circularity indicators, as have been planned. A very important message here is the last one, that a large amount of investment has put into the waste management, how to recycle, etc., and not to other situations, for example, prevention, design for circularity, etc. And the message is that this transition that I mentioned in the previous slides requires something more than recycling and waste management. It requires this, what we call the systemic approach. Let's go to that, to the next one. The next one is exactly this, introducing the systemic solutions and the systemic circular economy that we are going to discuss. And starting from a main reason for this slow transition, the slow progress, it means that usually the circularity models and actions that are done on a micro level, on a firm level, and not take into account the systemic nature of circularity. I mean, it's easy to go every firm to do some actions, etc., inside the company and to produce and reuse waste, etc., to do some waste, etc. But this is usually limited if we don't take into account the systemic impact. Usually the firms works in isolation, in silos. They don't want to collaborate. But circular economy, if we want to have real impact, then we have to go in a broader level. We have to combine actions between actors. We have to go into across firm, but also that means that we don't go into a firm, but we go into a city or a regional level, or even between regions. And this is the CRI before that. And also, what is important, not only in one sector, but between sectors in a region, this cross-sector approach. What's very important in CRI now, the message is to break the silos between firms, but also to break the silos between the sectors. The next one, probably is the last one from the introduction. Okay, but we have many problems. It's not an easy situation to go from the micro to systemic level, because small-scale solutions are usually easy to apply and easy to control, involve fewer actors, sometimes only one actor, and fewer uncertainties. When we're going to go to scale up to a systemic level, then the complexity increase, and the whole solutions are vulnerable to many situations, many parameters, economic fluctuations, for example, market instability, regulatory inconsistencies. Remember that we are now moving to a regional level, or even the regional level. Governance fragmentations. And because now we are not in a silo inside a firm, inside a company, inside a NIDAS, for example, and we have to move to the region and involve the citizens there, probably we need social acceptance of these solutions, the social part. All these are problem barriers that we have somehow to address. And in order to address this, we need new things. We need new tools. One of them is, for example, mechanisms to identify and overcome barriers, tools for prediction and management of the risk that apply. What's important, new but also viable business and financial models. Circularity, as I mentioned before, is not only about reusing and recycling, governance alignment, regulatory support, and behavioral traits. All these are problems, all these tools, new tools that should be introduced, and this is our role because we're working in CCRI project, and we have to work on these exactly tools. Next one. This one I'm not going to explain. It's about, I mentioned about new business models, innovative business models, and the main idea is circularity is not only recycling. There are many business models that we have to exploit and use, etc. Not only waste to resource, which is the standard business model that we all have in our mind when we talk about circularity, but product as a service, product life extension, manufacturing, etc. Collaborative consumption and circular design service. Collaborative consumption, for example, is a sharing economy behind that. All these are new business models that are by their nature systemic. Next. Okay, the CSSBoost, very quickly. Next, this is the CSSBoost. The first one is about the consortium. We have 8 universities, 6 large companies, 7 regional networks. It is coordinated by the Technical University of Crete. I'm a professor in this university. I'm the coordinator. ACR Plus is a central partner leading all the communication and clustering activities, etc. Next. Based on the previous discussion that we had, the first step in CSSBoost is to identify, to map the regional situation as an ecosystem of the circular economy market and also the environment. And this ecosystem includes the market, includes all the actors, includes also the environment, the internal environment of the system of this ecosystem and the external regional environment. Next one. And the main outcome of the CSSBoost, in fact, is apart from the pilots, where the pilots are the where we demonstrate this solution, is an integrated solution, as we call it. We create an integrated solution, which in fact call it CSSBoost, that is a cyber physical system, because the project has a lot of digital innovation and also technical innovation. And we create an integrated solution just to be easily to be applied to different cases, to be upscaled, and also to be replicated. So we combine, we have on the one hand the physical system, which is the ecosystem, and the market. This is virtualized using digital tools, digital twinning approaches, etc. And we also create a platform where we provide different services to the different life cycle stages of a circular systemic solution and to the different actors. I'm not going to details, there are some of them there. You can look at that. Next one. This is all. Let's go on. Triple transition is central to our approach. Don't have the time to go in details to that. Next one, just to see a couple. Okay, we have 4 cases, 4 pilot areas. One in Greece about bioeconomic valorization of agro-food products. One in Italy, in Marche region, about water and nutrients from water. The third one is in Germany, in North Black Forest, about plastic and bioplastics. And one is in Lisbon, in Portugal, about end-of-life vehicles and maintenance, etc. And we have also a virtual in the regional pilot where we combine all these in a virtual way. Next one. And the next slides are some results from the different areas, from the different pilots we have here. This is from the Greek pilot for agricultural, livestock, and food valorization. This is a value chain where the wool from the sheep is valorized and produced pellets, which is used as fertilizers and to produce tomatoes. And then goes these tomatoes to the supermarket, as you see, and this is a big value chain. And it's next one. You see here something like this. We also created a label that says Boost. It's not the final one because now we a little bit make it more easy to read, etc. Next one. And this is the third value chain, because remember when we say circular systemic solutions, by definition we mean different value chain with synergies, trade-offs, etc. This is the third value chain where we valorize byproducts from foods in order to produce bakery products with nutritious, low glycemic index products. Next one is from Italy, from Marche, and this is the first one. The treatment train that has been installed there has been deployed there for the water valorization, for wastewater valorization, for irrigation and natural restoration. Next one, the next value chain is about nutrients for agriculture, recovery nutrients from the water. Let's go on, we don't have plenty of time. This is from Germany, and this one is for conventional plastics, and especially for recycled yellow bags from a big company there in Germany, and reusing the plastics from the yellow bags. And there is one about, this one is in Portugal about sustainable vehicle production. Behind that is a big company which is responsible for all the public transport vehicles in Lisbon. Next one, and this is the last with material recovery from end-of-life vehicles, again in Portugal. And I have one slide because it's under discussion about the 5th pilot I mentioned. This one, which will be virtual. It's something that we want to try to experiment how to combine the different value chains in an interregional level, which extends the scope of CCRI. And closing. Okay, these are the main lesson learned. You can see people and collaboration come first. Systemic thinking drives real impact. We also work mainly on the digital part, and data and digital enablers are essential to this approach. Context matter, one size does not fit all. Start small, learn fast, scale smart, etc. And I have some key messages that say that Europe does not accept assumptions. We have the technologies. We don't have to focus on the technologies. What's needed is the capacity to orchestrate all this into regional circular ecosystem. This is the main problem, and this is where we were invited to provide solutions and to provide answers. And my last slide is some questions that I found that probably can drive the discussion today. Okay, how can we move from success of pilot to mainstream adoption? Okay, we have demonstration projects here. Our horizons are for demonstration projects. We reach a certain level, a certain TRL, but how can we go to real application? How, there was a discussion before, how can public procurement become a real market driver for circular system solution? How can region become orchestration of circular change? How can we approach the regional authorities or the regional decision makers there and put them in the value chain? How digital solution can accelerate trust, transparency, and collaboration, or living in the digital world in the big expansion of artificial intelligence, but this also creates a lot of problems and a lot of things. How can we do that? And how can we ensure that circular economy creates measured benefits for nature and communities? This is combined all the previous one. This is my presentation, so I try to put the state for the discussion today, etc. I hope I took some time, but I'll be.
Yorgos, I couldn't think of a better person to provide an introduction to this event, and I'm really happy to see the questions you listed, because it only confirms that the content we prepared for today will hopefully answer some of them. The others that will stay unanswered, we will try to talk to them during the discussions. You also mentioned, and all the things that you mentioned, which we will hear more about, all the different systemic barriers from market instability, training, education, social acceptance was there something very important, and I'm really curious to see how this label will work.
Yeah.
It kind
This slide is usually when I present. This is the most important. We usually discuss around this slide. This
labeling, governance, procurement. You mentioned a lot of things, and we will address them all. Some of the speakers online, some of the speakers here in the room, and we also have one whole session, because we have other CCRI projects here, which will be dedicated, which will look at these different projects from different angles. From the stakeholder engagement, from training and education, and other kind of, those little things that matter a lot for the uptake and for the upscaling and for the acceptance, etc. And my final remark is, yes, something that I must say now, and I will repeat it also at the end of this event. You presented the four pilots with all their value chains, and here we have other projects which are featuring similar or completely different value chains. We won't be focusing on value chains today as much as on other kind of surrounding, features and enablers, etc., because we are preparing a webinar series for autumn after summer with the 4 projects, and the webinar series will be dedicated to different value chains. This webinar series will be announced soon, so all of you who registered for this event, keep following the news, the social media, etc., because we will be announcing this. So thank you, Yorgos. You can take one of the seats there, and then I will see you here again co-hosting the second session.
Thank you very much, Ernest. I forgot to mention that thank you very much for hosting.
No problem. Welcome to our humble meeting room. So the webinar series is something that will come out as a result of a collaboration between these projects. Not so long ago, beginning of the year or something like that, we teamed up, we created a cluster, we gave it a name, it's called CIRCNET, and I'm really happy to have Athanasia here this morning with me, who will tell you more about CIRCNET and how did we come up with this, what are the added values, how do we function, and then she will also help me co-host, co-facilitate the first session. I will tell you what the first session is about later on. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Ernest. So from my side, I am Athanasia Maria Tombolini. I'm Policy and Project Officer in the European Association of Regional Development Agencies, EURADA. And together with my colleagues, Christina Sanz-Rutherford and Carla Bonamicis, we are coordinating the CIRCNET cluster, which is actually a union, let's say, of 4 different projects. And today we would like to introduce you to this nice initiative. So, next slide, please. What is CIRCNET cluster and why we brought all these projects together? Because first of all, together we are stronger. That's why we created the CIRCNET cluster, which is actually a clustering platform that is connecting 4 Horizon Europe projects: CIRCSYST, Smile City, FIG Fighters, and CSSBoost. So what we are trying to do with this union of these 4 projects, we are trying to amplify our impact, to accelerate scaling, and to strengthen the transition to a circular economy. Next slide, please. So why it's so important to bring together the different projects and join our forces? So first of all, together we can create greater impact. How? By combining expertise and results from all the 4 projects, and we can address circular economy challenges more effectively than working individually. Secondly, we can accelerate the scaling, and specifically by sharing knowledge and best practices, we can help successful solutions to reach wider adoption faster, which is also a topic that Mr. Arambadzis already has put on the table. Third, we can avoid duplication working together. Coordination with each other reduces overlap and makes better use of resources and stakeholder engagement efforts. And fourth, we can also strengthen our policy inputs. We can have a joint voice and consolidated evidence to provide stronger recommendation to the policymakers. And also we have in our pipeline to create together a common manifesto within this year, we hope until the end of 2026. And why we do all these actions? Because we want to increase also the visibility of our cluster and of our projects, because joint communication events is what is helping us to reach a broader audience and maximize the project impact, our project's impact. So, next slide, please. Before I give the floor to our speakers individually, I would like to share with you that from our cluster, we will have today with us Dr. Joaquin Villaplana Cerda from IGU, who is the coordinator of CIRCSYST project, Dr. Ettore Busacchi from ITRA, from Smile City project, coordinator of the Smile City project, and we have also from CSSBoost, Dr. Chrysostomos Galanos from the Technical University of Crete. So,
not a doctor, but no, it's okay.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. I will give the floor to Joaquin as the first presenter. Am I right?
And we also have Manas Nidhi on behalf of FIG Fighters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it was, there was a change in name.
There was
I
a
think,
change.
in name, but yeah, there is a fourth one as well.
Okay. Okay. I wasn't aware for this change. So I will introduce the people I have done my research on. First of all, Joaquin Villaplana Cerda. I will give you some information about Joaquin before he starts his presentation. He has obtained his PhD in chemistry, and currently he's Innovation and Sustainability Director in IGU. He has more than 30 years of experience within the organization, working on technical environmental solutions for industrial needs, developing and managing RDI projects, Several years, he's acting as coordinator of the technical secretariat of the Toy Valley Innovative Companies Cluster and the National Technological Platform of Traditional Manufacturing Companies. He's a passionate leader with a proven track record in driving innovation and sustainability, initiatives across diverse sectors, experienced professional with expertise in developing and implementing sustainable business strategies to drive growth and impact. Currently, Dr. Joaquin Villaplana Cerda is the coordinator of two relevant European projects, the CIRCSYST, Circular Systemic Solutions in Cooperation for Regional Challenges, and CIRCVET, Circular Economy Practical Training Materials for Plastic Manufacturing Industries. So, Joaquin.
Yeah, you can join us here, and then you can stay on the little panel for discussion. This would be the best. So for the camera,
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you to invite us to participate in this cluster. I think this could be a very good initiative to join our effort and try to obtain better results. Well, as you have already said, we are more or less in trying to solve similar problems and try to find a way to implement circular system solution in different regions or in different value chains. Okay. For this, our project, this project is a project in which we are working in three different value chains. One is water circularity, bio-waste circularity, and also plastic and food packaging, mainly value chains. Next slide, please. Well, who is the coordinator? We are located in Alicante, and we are a small research center, but we have a long experience working on circularity and environmental issues. But we propose this project to the CCRI. We start with the next slide. What the main objective of the thesis is to develop and demonstrate a range of circular technological solutions to enhance sustainability in key economic sectors, such as said already, circular solution for water systems, the waste as a sort of sustainable materials, also energy, water, probably waste, and eco-design and recycling of food packaging. Next slide, please. This is a very ambitious and huge project. We have more than 30 partners from 9 different countries, three different value chains. We start in June 24, and we will end in May 27. So we are in the last year of the project. We are working in the final stage. Next slide. Well, this is a map with the different partners distributed among Europe and different work packages. We organized the project where package 1 is coordinator and management, and work package 2 is for water value chain, work package 3 for bio-waste, work package 4 for packaging and plastics. These are the technical work package. And well, each work package has a coordinator, and each demo has their own coordinator also. And the rest of work packages are transversal work packages that are critical to analyze and contribute to all the objectives and measure different social and economical potential impacts of the demonstrators. Next slide, please. Well, we come from the Valencia community region, and at the beginning of the CCRI creation, this region becomes a fellow partner of this initiative. And in our proposal, we try to work in all the different value chains, and we have involved a lot of partners in our region, with the support also of our public regional administration, becomes part of the CCRI, and they are the representatives of the region in the CCRI. Next slide, please. Well, the three, and we talk about the three demos that we are performing in our region. In a regional perspective, we are interested in working the different value chains. And well, later we'll make a presentation of one of the specific value chains, more focused in plastics and food packaging. But for the regional perspective, we have a demo in wastewater treatment, tertiary treatment, that we try to reuse industrial wastewater, treated wastewater, and provide a new source of regenerative water to different companies according to their requirements. And what the pilot is almost working, actually, because this pilot was located in the place where we suffered big floods, Dana, and destroy part of the wastewater treatment plant. So we managed to restore all the facilities, and with some delay, but the pilot is working, and at the end there is a system that, depending on the demand, try to treat the different type of waters coming from industry to adapt to the demand requirements. This is a very important issue for all the circular system solutions. If you don't work on the part of the demand, probably you can have a good technical solution to make circularity, but if the demand part is not solved, this solution will have difficulties to become a systemic solution, a real solution that is working during the time and make it in a economically sustainable way. Next slide, please. Well, other of the demonstrators in which we are working in our region, and also another region in Spain, Castilla-La Mancha, is the circular system solution to obtain and valorize bioproducts from the bagasse biomass spent grain, because this is a waste, a bio waste that is spread over all the regions, and this solution could be replicated in any region, because at the end, almost everywhere we have breweries, and they are producing beer. And in Europe, 6 million of tons, it's a high quantity of bio waste of brewers spent grain is produced each year, and some of them are used to feed animal feed food, but high percentage of these tons ends in landfills, so it's not taking profit from them. In our demonstrator, we have worked in a lab scale in a university, and also we have set up a scale-up plant, or industrial plant. It's not an industrial plant, but it's in the university we can work with grains, and in the pilot plants that have in this company and working with gas. But we can work with kilograms, and we can analyze the possibilities to scale up and make a real industrial plant working with tons. Well, we have been obtaining different type of added value products like antioxidants, some sugars, also proteins, and fibers. The fibers we separate the different components of this waste, and for each component could exist a market or a demand. Next slide, please. Okay, and also one of the demonstrators in which we are involved try to solve develop a mechanical recycling for multi-layer PET. Multi-layer PET is food packaging that usually has different layers of different materials to make a barrier and facilitate the requirement of extended life of the packaged food. So actually, there is a lot of research trying to look for the alternative to this multi-layer material, but the requirements are not totally achieved. So this material will probably continue because the advantages they provide to avoid food waste, because they can extend the life of this food. There's a lot of examples. You go to a supermarket, you can find a lot of products packaged with multi-layer PET. The technology tried to make viable some chemical treatment to separate the different layers and recycle them as different materials. We have developed a solution that make like a mixture of these materials and made possible to recycle it mechanically. It's cheaper, it's more sustainable, and we are taking a very good results with this. Well, this is 3 different demonstrators in which our region are trying to make them a real circular systemic solution. Next slide, please. In parallel, the other partners and regions are working with the demonstrators in different places. The water demonstrations has interaction with some demonstrators linked to bio-waste, because in one of them we are treating sludge from the wastewater treatment plant, and we are obtaining different type of added value products, bioplastics, and fertilizers, and other materials that could be obtained from the sludge of the wastewater treatment plant. So there exists a connection and synergy with them. And these bioplastics also, we have tried to use them in different food packaging demonstrators. So we are working also trying to establish synergies between the different circular systemic solutions ecosystem. We have created 9 different demonstrators. Next slide, please. And focusing one of the value chains, what we have tried to set up with the food packaging waste, this CIRCNET solution of circular systemic solution. Well, we have 3 different demonstrations in the same value chain. Next slide, please. One of them is the mechanical recycling of multi-layer PET formulations. We have involved different companies, and with the material we have produced from this waste, a very difficult waste to recycle, we have obtained different products like pallets that can be plastic pallets that can be used in the logistic food packaging or food system. And also another company that has produced a home device, a cutlery tray. It's working really, and in the demonstrator we will collect a very big amount of this material and produce 1,000 units of pallets, and we will distribute and try to analyze in a real environment the behavior of these products obtained. Also, next slide, please. In demo 8, our colleagues from Greece, they have been working with collection system, tried to separate this food packaging directly in the supermarket centers, and with this material they have developed different application. So they are trying to evaluate how to improve the collection system, involve citizens, final users, and this is a very important part to make all the value chains active, because if you have a very good collection system and sorting system, you can have better quality waste to work with. Okay, next.
So, Joaquin, do you have many slides left?
Yeah?
Do you have many slides left?
No, many.
Oh, last. Okay.
This is the last.
Is it? Okay.
No,
Because I'm just four more. Okay.
4 more. I'm finishing. Sorry. Well, in the demo 9, our Hungarian colleagues, they are treating the problem in the origin, working with eco-design of packaging solutions. So, well, they have prove and demonstrate with different materials that it's possible to reduce plastic waste and use more sustainable materials in the production of food packaging. And what they are have produced different demonstrator and working with them. And that's the 3 demonstrators for food packaging value chains. And what is important, what we have working also, is that from the innovation to action, iterating solutions for real impact has to pass through different steps, and one of them is stakeholder mapping, community practice, database, validation, workshop in each demo and region. Also, we have working cooperation workshops in the different value chains, and also we are working in replication workshops. So at the end of this process of activities, trying to identify barriers and analyze how to involve society and users and whatever. I think now at the end we have to produce a policy recommendation that deliverable to the EU of the project, to the EU Commission, in which we have to, I suppose that similarly that other projects that we are collaborating in these clusters, we have to obtain some conclusions that at the end are recommendation of how to make this circular system in solutions become a real solution. It's not easy, And it's very important to solve a lot of barriers and create drivers. For us, the main driver is that exists or it's possible to create a real demand of the streams or second raw materials produced in this case. And that's the last one. Okay.
Very good, thank you. I'm really happy that you finished with the cluster because that's exactly what we try to achieve, to put our efforts together in front of the EU Commission.
Yeah.
Thank you, Akin.
Thank you.
You can stay here or go back and then we'll come back.
I will here.
Great. Back to the cluster, back to Athanasia. Who else do we have?
So now I think we have Ettore, and I would like to do a small introduction about our Ettore. So Dr. Ettore Musacchi has been involved in tire recycling for over 25 years, during which time he set up and developed many industrial projects. He's a member of the Senate Committee on Tire Recycling and of the Ministry of Health Commission on Artificial Turf. He has been managing director of an SME tire recycler. Earlier, he worked in banking for 9 years, where he assumed roles in various departments, including 4 years in foreign exchange, after which he became a certified accountant. He developed considerable technical skill and experience as he managed the development and production of several new products and EU projects. He is Secretary General of ECRA.
Thank you, Javier. You may go. I tend to be quite frank in my presentation. ECRA is the European Tire Recycling Association. What we do, what every association normally does. We share information, we create opportunities for our members, organize events, we push on cooperation, and of course we do projects. Projects are fundamental for our sector because we need to develop products, materials, to make any recycling sector sustainable. We have to grow in innovation, technologies, and so on. These are the recycled tire materials that we obtain from tires, and what we do. We do product for road safety, for urban furniture, for rails, for sport facilities, urbanized asphalt, building. Everywhere these materials are used is not simply to put something somewhere. It is because they bring performance, they bring quality, they increase durability, and so on. Smart City project is an Horizon project, an important project, 35 partners, 14 countries, started in 1st of January 2025, and it will last for 48 months. Next. There is a video. I don't know if we are able to launch it. Try, otherwise, no, it doesn't work. Fine, anyway, no problem. Okay,
Let's see what happens when the link.
Well, it doesn't matter. We can see another time. Okay, go to the next slide. There is an issue about population and mobility. There is a growing number of people moving towards urban areas, more and more. And these people are demanding transport, need mobility. This is a not ending process, and this is impacting on. This morning we started late owing to a traffic jam. So this is the clear example that there is an issue. Next. Smart City project is a project focused on development and implementation of circular systemic solution for urban mobility, but not only. It is a link between recycled material, clean energy, and mobility. Why? Because we use recycled material to develop this solution. In this solution, we also use clean energy, and together this provide a support for a sustainable mobility. So we put together value chains and sectors that are not so used to work together. This is the challenge. Next. These are some examples of the circular systemic solution. Asphalt with rubber inside, second life batteries, recover for end-of-life electrical vehicles, concrete with recycled steel fiber from tires, and these fibers are used for reinforcement. Then we are developing a digital app to simplify the use of this solution. PV panels that will integrate more recycled materials. We are developing a new generation of PV panel, lighter, more durable, and so on. And also we are using recycled polymers. Next. These are the value chains: recycled tire materials, recycled polymeric materials, photovoltaic panels, batteries. We saw that they are also in Portugal. They have an experience with the public transport about recycling of batteries. Concrete, asphalt, urban furniture, and the digital app. Here the concept, very simple. You see on the picture on the left, some people on the bikes. On the back, you see a concrete structures with the PV panels on the top. This is roughly what we are doing. Also, I would say much better, but the idea is clear. A concrete structure, PV panel, batteries at the bottom, and from there we got the energy for the bikes. And then other, let's say, materials used for cycling lanes, like the asphalt, like rubber product for urban design, and so on. Next. So the key aspect are the use of recycled materials, sustainable material, mobility, recycled polymers, materials. We tend to valorize local resource and jobs because in these countries, we are not simply bringing there the solution. We are developing a solution, but we want to implement and to arrive with local companies, local workers, and so on. We are thinking to how to support and to expand these technologies because we want to create value. We want to teach to local company how to use this know-how. And we are developing an eco-mobility digital app. Very important is the design, because if we do something effective but it's not nice, it's not functional, people will not accept. And the municipality will not accept. If we create something that is also having a good impact on the urban spaces, this is the goal. Next. I prepare a few slides about our concept of working together, because working together is also the scope of a cluster. So we in my city, working together means cooperation with other organizations, synergies with other projects, and opportunities for new projects. Next. About cooperation, we organize an urban living lab in Ismail City to design the charging station for the e-bikes. And so we involved a lot of organizations that are not partners of the project. So people that are outside the project, but they were willing to cooperate with us. Other as funds from other projects, and they needed activities to fit in the project. And this was one example. Next. So the Urban Living Lab, there are designers, students, architects, and whatever, and they work on the concrete cast element structure, PV panels for roofing or flooring type, second life batteries for electric power storage. How to assemble all this, how to put together, how to create something that could be easily installed, transported, and so on. Next. Another way is synergizing with other projects. Replan City Life, it is a life project coordinated by ETRA, in which we raise awareness about the use of this product and material with the public administration. Next. So in Replan, we created a web platform that could be joined by anyone. And so the partners of Smile City are also joining the platform, but the platform is open to anyone, mainly public administration, technician who has, let's say, a circular solution to propose, etc. And we do also events together. Smile City and Replan City Life, in this case, were in Rome from the 9th to 11th of June at the Forum Public Administration. It is a major event of the public administration, and we had our booth and our colleagues sharing information and so on. Let's see. And also we organize a workshop together with also other projects and other partners. Here are some examples around Europe. Next. Of course, CIRCNET. This is a very, I would say, promising experience. We are really happy to be part of this cluster. Next. Reseba is a new project that was recently approved. We are not partner, but we are supporting this project in the other way around. I said before for my city. In this case, we are us, an external partner, participating to certain activities. This project focuses on developing cross-sectorial skill with, I would say, local sectors, local manufacturing area, and so on. And they organize 7 regional circular business labs in Italy, Spain, Belgium, Netherlands, Bulgaria, France. And we are with them taking part to some of these meetings in order to understand where it is possible to develop cooperation, synergies, and so on. Next. As I said, some of our involvement include a share of our practical experience, provide portfolio of practical challenges, on-site visit. We are organizing for our project, training, testing, etc., etc. Next. And from all this, I would say, interaction, we come up with new proposal, with new project. And this is a new project recently approved. We are in the grant agreement preparation phase. And in this project, we will create 5 living hubs activities focusing on these value chains. And some of these value chains are the same of Smile City, others are new. So there is a continuity and a synergies among the different projects. Next, I think it's finished. These are the partners of Smile City, and here we have my contact details in any case you want more information. I hope they've been clear enough. If you have questions, either directly or later on today, or send me an email. I will be pleased to discuss with you.
Thank you, Tore. We have plenty of time for questions and much more. I will talk to you in the coming days or weeks about artificial turf, because there's something being cooked in my office, which is the first one. When it comes to the offices here, the second one, if you open it, you will find Francesco there, and he works on Reseba on behalf of ACR Plus. So we are a partner there. Thank you, Tore. We'll come back to the panel later on. Now we have, will it be the online or the in-person next? Should we continue with the in-person?
What do you think?
Yeah, let's go with the people who are there. So, sorry, Chrysostomos, we'll keep you for the next session.
And I think that you can introduce.
Yeah, no problem, of course. No issues. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I am Manal Snidi, and I work as a communication officer for ALDA. ALDA is the European Association for Local Democracy. So to give you just a couple lines on what ALDA does. So it's a membership-based nonprofit organization. We've been working for more than 30 years now on local democracy. So like our core expertise is citizens engagement and local governance. And we do this through a variety of EU-funded projects on many different topics, among which the circular economy ones and the Horizon ones. So today specifically, I will present you the FIG Fighters project, which is indeed a Horizon-funded initiative that is dedicated to turning a significant environmental challenge into a circular economy opportunity. Next slide, please. So as you can see, the name stands for Fair, Inclusive, Circular, and Healthy Cities, which perfectly encapsulates the mission of the project, which is the focus on the valorization of phosphogypsum wastes into commercial products through sustainable processes. ALDA is not a technical partner in this project, so there's a lot of partners in the project that are more like on the research and technical side. ALDA is more on the citizens engagement side, so also that's a little disclaimer on why I wouldn't go deep too much on the technical things. But to give you, do you all know what phosphogypsum is?
I don't. Every time I put it in Microsoft Word, the autocorrect.
I mean, yeah.
So I was very much looking for this presentation to know, like, why is this underlined in red and why it doesn't?
I had the
because I know it exists because there are people working on it. So.
I will again, not an expert at all, but just to give you an idea, it's a byproduct of some factories' productions. And it's, you know, the little image on the right corner there, it's like the stacked, it's white mountains, like this white powder, okay, tricky, but like white powder mountains. So it's a byproduct, and that also naturally contains elements such as uranium, etc. So it makes it naturally also radioactive. So like it poses an environmental threat, and not only, but we will see that. So indeed, as I was saying, while our technical partners are working on scaling up recovery technologies to high maturity levels, ALDA, together with another partner, CLAVE, is leading more the effort to address the social impacts of the issue. So our core belief, the project is 4 year long, and now we're exactly in the middle, so 2 years past 5, midterm. And the belief here that we have, especially as ALDA within this project, is that technical innovation should go hand in hand with social governance. And we are here indeed to ensure that this transition to a circular economy is not just technologically advanced, but also very much fair and inclusive. So as I was saying, phosphogypsum stacks are not just environmental data points. They are part of daily landscapes of thousands of people. And the goal here is to strengthen citizens' participation so that the people directly affected by these sites become more aware, first of all, but also informed and active participants in the decision-making process around these wastes. Next slide, please. So to achieve this goal, what we are doing is that we're conducting citizens engagement workshops across 6 case studies, which are in Portugal, Croatia, Serbia, Romania, North Macedonia, and Spain. Again, this is not an exhaustive list of where phosphogypsum stacks are in Europe, but I mean, as others presented before, we have only 6 case studies. And the goal of these workshops, it's a double goal. So on the one hand, it's for research purposes. So to gather qualitative data on how phosphogypsum stacks impact the daily life of people, both economically, socially, and environmentally, and thus inform our social research and policy recommendation. And on the other hand, the other goal is for the community to provide them clear, transparent, and technical information about what phosphogypsum is, first of all, and how it can affect their health and their surroundings. So I also had, later. So the workshops specifically are 4-hour intensive long, and they are designed to move from current problems to future solutions, of course. So there's a 3-step process. The first one is to identify the impacts and issue prioritization. We ask, can we skip to the other ones? I will show you because there was a video, but I understood it won't work.
You never know with
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay. It's on YouTube. Maybe I can show you and then tell you what it is. It's 2 minutes long one. It's hyperlinked there in theory on the title. People online. I mean, if it's an issue, no worries. It's not that important. It was just to give you also a little visual idea of what we do in the workshops.
Okay, in the meantime, I have a question. The demonstrators there, you list, I'm from Serbia.
Okay.
Fortunately, nowhere near this place, this
Mhm.
village, so I'm not exposed to uranium and stuff. But the pilot, so if I understood well, this is where this phosphogypsum is stored and stacked, not generated. It's generated across the country and
But well, the two things are the same thing. So like it is a byproduct of production indeed of some factories. So where the factory is, there's the waste. And
Okay.
it can be a factory that's now closed,
I see.
or it can be
I
still
see.
working. So normally the two things
Okay.
coincide.
But what kind of factories?
Different kinds. I wouldn't answer something that I'm not very.
No, because I was aware of gypsum generated by filter of energy production company, because the combination of
Yeah.
This is the
Also, yeah, it's just there's not much research on it, so that's why people, like not many people know about it. I didn't even know before. Okay, so that's a workshop, you know.
Excited to have the chance to meet you and stay together with you today. Letteraria.
Thank you. So it was just to give you an idea of how a workshop works indeed in practice. So you have, I would say,
We're in a situation in which the violence of the economy has reached a very, very obscene peak. We have actually 12 people in the world owning more than the bottom.
Yeah, follow up. Yeah. Also, sorry, I will go back to Ettore that was asking about the production. So like, not to go into much detail, but to answer you, I know that phosphogypsum in particular, the waste that we're talking about in these projects are the byproduct of like these industries that work to produce fertilizers.
Yeah.
And I think specifically, I hope I'm not wrong, it's the ones that produce phosphoric acid to work on fertilizers, and thus they have these phosphogypsum wastes. So it's easily like to be present, like for fertilizers. Okay. So I was saying like the workshops are structured in 3 steps. So the first one is to identify the impacts and to do an issue prioritization. So what we do here is we ask citizens to map the impacts that they have experienced in their everyday life, and to identify which ones are the most urgent ones to solve. The second step is the technical presentation. So there's a phosphogypsum expert that provides a plain language deep dive into what the waste is, who produces it, what the known impacts are, because most of the impacts are not known up to today. And thus ensures that everyone starts from a shared baseline of facts. And then the last step is the co-creation part. That's personally my favorite part. So we ask citizens questions such as like, what would you like your city or the area where these wastes are to look like in 10 or 15 years, for example? So, for example, if the phosphogypsum problem is solved, if and not when, because that's also an issue, how should the land be used? So this sort of medium-term visioning helps the citizens to reclaim their local environment where they are and where they live. About who is in the room of this workshop, it's we bring together a variety of participants going from local citizens, NGOs, environmentalists, representative from public authorities. And sometimes in some workshops, we also had former workers of the factories that produce this waste. So to give also another perspective. Next slide, please. So how have we been going? As I told you, we have 2 years of project done, 2 years to go. Up to now, we organized 4 workshops in 4 countries, involving over 50 participants, capturing all these experiences also through recap videos, that the one you saw, interviews, etc. And through these dialogues that we create, we identified mainly 3 critical gaps that must be addressed. The first one is the information gap. So citizens, of course, lack access to information and monitoring data about these stats. The second one is the participation gap. So there's a lack of structured consultation or involvement in how these sites are then managed. And the third gap is the research one, because until now, there hasn't been enough structural research into the viable alternatives for managing and reusing these stacks and these deposits. So that's also something that this project is doing actively. And then all these materials, videos, findings, etc., are compiled in the virtual forum that we created, that serves as a transparent knowledge hub for all this data. It's also linked there, but you can find it on the website. And based on these findings, we drafted a policy brief that doesn't act only as a report, but it's a sort of a roadmap for inclusive governance. So it provides recommendations on how to manage phosphogypsum stacks more transparently, how to seek alternative solutions that are to be replicable across Europe, because the replicability part is very important. Indeed, as I was saying, we only have 6 case studies, but then the replicability is the idea. And then by bringing all these citizens in the heart of the circular economy process, we're just not only solving the of course, waste problem, but also building trust and sustainable communities around this environmental issue. So yeah, that's it more or less. Thank you very much. And you can visit the website, you find QR codes there, so also you can check the virtual platform.
Thank you. Thank you very much for telling a story about your social innovation actions, because I know that a lot of our projects have to have this. because like in your case, you were talking about the White Mountain, and I see it this place in Macedonia. I mean, people live with it, people grow up with it, generations. So I believe social innovation is something you see every day, something that you would like to kind of work on, or especially when you hear the risks and the threats, etc. If you know, but you need to know first, and then the uptake can be faster, because a lot of our value chains are dealing with things that ordinary citizens don't see every day. They exist, they are an issue, but we don't see them. So it's sometimes probably more difficult to explain why we need to deal with those things. So here I can see, but we will talk about this later on. Thanks for picking the social innovation part, because the value chain, because I'm very curious what can be made out of this for Gipsum, but we will talk about this in autumn during the webinars. And yet social innovation and the next presentation from Chrysostomos are kind of similar, because they address certain gaps either in social acceptance or uptake. And Chrysostomos has the results of the survey that some of you or your partners also completed, and it's all about identifying what are the training and education, like skill gaps in skills, for instance. And so I saw this presentation a couple of weeks ago when we had the General Assembly, and as Chrysostomos, we need to repeat this for the event. But Chrysostomos, before you start, I'm sure that Athanasia knows something about you that you would like to share with us.
Yes, I think the audience should know about Chrysostomos.
A lovely person.
Chrysostomos Galanos is a researcher at the Industrial and Digital Innovations Research Group, Indigo, at the Technical University of Crete, specializing in the management of EU-funded programs. He holds a diverse academic background with master's degrees in social and solidarity economy and geoinformation in environmental management, alongside a bachelor in business administration. His research focuses on the intersection of environmental citizen science, geoinformation, and alternative cooperative economies. He's a certified adult trader for non-formal education and also brings extensive practical experience from his past roles as founder of the European Village NGO, cooperative enterprise consultant, and research project manager.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me well. Hello, Ernest. Hello, Athanasia. I'm very happy to participate in this important EU Green Week event, even online. I'm a member of Indigo Group from Technical University of Crete, that Professor Arabadzis is the principal investigator. George mentioned already, presented already CSSBoost project, so I am not going to say something more on this. My presentation for today is about training and education innovation for circular value chains. And actually, as Ernest told already, I will present you the work that has been done until now under a relevant task, CSSBoost task that TUC is leading. Slide, not moving. Now you see slide number 2, correct?
Yes.
You can hear me, okay. So the European Commission has fully understood that if it wants to remain competitive, retain and attract highly skilled labor talents, investing in education, upskilling and reskilling is fundamental. As you can see in this slide, the recent 2025 Union of Skills strategy makes it clear that we need to equip people with the specific skills needed to address climate change. Now Brussels is really hot those days. You can feel it. And seize the opportunities of the twin green and digital transition and circular economy. Next slide. Okay. So in the CSSBoost project, our direct response to this challenge is to develop a training and education innovation package. Our goal is to provide the right tools to train personnel, educate new scientists and engineers, and enhance the skills of professionals involved in circular systemic solutions. We believe that traditional education can sometimes be too rigid for rapid market shifts, so our core approach is a modular, MOOC-based, which stands for Massive Open Online Course, with a strong focus on micro-credentials to ensure our training is highly flexible and relevant to the needs of the labor market. When I mentioned micro-credentials, essentially, I mean a short-term, highly focused learning experience. So to get there, we are following a four methodological step approach. First, we already performed a preliminary survey, and some sister projects already received the survey and completed it to analyze the feedback from our partners, but also to identify what skills are currently lacking. Second step is, at the moment we are in this step, we are using this feedback to develop targeted educational modules. Then we will deploy a dedicated learning management system built on Moodle, as I mentioned before, to host these courses. And finally, we will test our material during a summer school that will happen at TUC premises in the summer of 2027, next year. So as you can see, the process is not linear. Step 4 will give us the opportunity to test the material and receive feedback so that we can return on step 2 and improve the material and the learning management system. Hopefully this circular process of continuous improvement will be embedded in the system that we want to create. So here you can see that we have 36 completed surveys from a wide variety of stakeholders. We gathered feedback from the technology providers and pilot partners, also within CSSBoost consortium, but also from our cluster, the CIRCNET cluster. And among other questions, we asked them what exact competencies are expected in their fields and what skills they feel are currently missing or that need improvement. Looking at the profile of our responders, we received valuable input from a highly diverse group of experts. This included project leaders and work package coordinators who focus heavily on stakeholder engagement, like the video we saw just before, in the regional motivation and overall management. We also received technical insights from digital architects and technical solution providers who are actively building digital twins, marketplaces, data spaces for our projects. So now quickly, I will present the initial findings. Starting with the circularity concept, responders highlighted a strong demand for guidance on circular business models and how to scale these approaches under challenging economic conditions. They also emphasized the need for training on EU and international regulations, specifically understanding how to effectively link environmental policies and standards with the circular systemic solutions we are developing. On the technical side, there's a need for training in ICT tools. This includes a basic understanding of AI tools and data analytics, but specifically for monitoring circular processes, as well as advanced data visualization and web platform design. Stakeholders like agriculture producers that we have in a project in Pilot 1, as George presented, expressed a strong interest in understanding how to use digital marketplaces so they can conduct transparent peer-to-peer transactions to sell their products safely. So now in the social innovation aspect, technical skills alone are not enough. We found an equally urgent demand for human-centric skills. Our partners need practical methods for community engagement, building living labs. So that's why I liked the previous video so much, because it really seems in practice how it can work in a nice way. And the strategies to build local trust. They also need to know how to design social innovation pathways that consider economic barriers and increase the overall social acceptance of these circular solutions. The last fourth category that we revealed, it was a critical need for soft skills. And for example, it's about science communication. And I mean the ability to translate complex technical data into clear messages for non-expert stakeholders, local communities, and policymakers. Change and transformation management is also crucial. For instance, helping traditional farmers, as I told before, smoothly transition to circular practices, along with leadership and conflict facilitation in socially sensitive contexts. So this brings us to the core message that I wanted actually to convey today, that successful circularity requires a multidisciplinary skill bridge between technology and people, soft skills. I don't believe it's enough to just train technical experts in technical subjects. Instead, our educational program that we want to build aims to combine technical capabilities with crucial soft skills and social innovation. For example, modules that they can support, as I told already, but it's important for us, for our project and also for our local pilot, to support farmers to use new peer-to-peer marketplaces to trade their agricultural products, or engineers to communicate complex science to non-experts and engage with local communities. By bringing these two slides together, we create an intersection you see in the middle of the screen that I believe that is a high impact, a holistic circularity skill set. And I think that this is how we are trying to respond to the challenge of upskilling and reskilling and support the workforce for a successful transition to circular economy. But I think that is the main subject that our projects are working with. Thanks a lot, and if you have any questions.
Thank you, Chrysostomos. And thank you, Chrysostomos, for closing this first session. Yes, well, I have some questions here, maybe not for you, because I know quite a lot about this task, so I don't really have any questions for you. I don't know if anyone in the room has, Athanasia, for Chrysostomos or for anyone else from the session.
From my side, no, but from the audience, any questions?
I was wondering, when it comes to the social, like still staying on this kind of social skills, social innovation, etc. For now, when I was looking, so there was a video from Macedonia. I was wondering who facilitates these workshops? Are they local facilitators who know the target group on hand, who know the issue, or are they neutral from abroad, or like which approach do you use? The kind of neutral or more kind of local?
So, like as I said, one of the steps of these workshops is to inform citizens about things. So there's an expert.
Okay.
So that's something neutral.
Okay.
That's the expertise of what social is, etc. But like it's the consortium partners and like the research. Indeed, as I was saying, like we're 27 partners, and most of them are very technical partners. So they're also like very much able to deliver this technical part, while ALDA facilitates the workshop in general together with the other partner, because That's the expertise we have in facilitating. So we're neutral in the sense that we don't come from that local part. I think like when you do local activities, it's very important to involve indeed the local representatives. But in this case, it would be a little bit biased, sort of, as you were saying, like you wouldn't keep it neutral in all its forms, you know, because then the person facilitating, if it's also one of the persons involved directly, then you have this clash of interests in like, okay, so are you participating to the workshop? Does this affect directly your daily life? And that's why you say this thing in this way, or is it the other way around?
If the implementation, the execution is by a local entity, or like because the video it was in Macedonia.
Yeah, because we have one of the case studies in Macedonia.
Okay, so the part. Okay.
Yeah, the partner, the local partner.
But and then the frameworks, you said that you already covered 3 or 4 countries. The framework is the same for all, or does each country or each demonstrator pilot has a custom-made social innovation action plan, like the workshops, etc.? Are they same everywhere, or
no? I mean, like you saw the Venice one, the North Macedonian one, but that pretty much gives you an idea about the general structure that is the same for the for all the 6 workshops. So it's 6 case studies. So I mean, just basically speaking, also the use of posters, post-its, the interactive part, also because again, it's not technical people, it's citizens.
Yeah.
Then
Sophomores was saying that we need to translate.
Indeed. So you have to give them all the tools and all the plain language information that they need. So the structure is the same for everyone. Of course, small adaptations are made based on the case study because, like, yes, they are all have in common the phosphogypsum waste, but from different backgrounds. Because again, as I was saying before, some industries are still working, like they're still producing the fertilizers that they produce this waste, while others stopped. And also a secondary problem. So the land, like the territory where these stacks are, in some cases, it's private property of the factory. So, can you use it? Can you decide upon that land? I don't think so. While on the other hand, in some other cases, it's like of the state land. So small adaptations are made from case to case, but the general structure remains the same.
Okay. And for the Torre, I was so you described the living labs, and you said that you of course need to include urban planners, designers, in order for things to make sense in the public space. But I never heard, or you probably do, or you didn't mention, to what extent do you cooperate or involve the users, the final users, into these living labs, like the cyclists or football clubs, athletes, those who would be running, cycling, walking on those, I don't know, the asphalt, etc., because I didn't see that part of the stakeholders.
No, this has been indirectly involved through the municipalities because they have the relationship with this. And then we have also partners who are very, I would say, keen on a social aspect. So they have already data and whatever. But there is I would say, a work in progress, because for the moment it's just an issue of design. But then there are ongoing activities because the installation will not be done in one time, because we have 10 municipalities, 10 cities in which we have installed. And the first one should be also I would say, a living lab to see and to experience on this and build up for the next one. And there will be, I would say, surveying either for social impact, but also for health impact, because we expect the scope is to shift part of mobility from high carbon impacting means of transport to a more sustainable mobility. So we wish that people use less the car, more the cycling path, more the bicycle, more and connecting this cycling path also with public transport, creating this kind of it's a process that we want to contribute to, and we are pleased to see that there is an incredible attention from policymakers, from municipalities, from citizens to cycling mobility. It's I would say, a soft revolution that is ongoing.
Yeah, it has been happening for a while. Somewhere more kind of evident, somewhere less. But yeah, it's happening. Thank you, Todd.
I'd like to add something, listening to the
Mhm.
discussion. Also, CIRCSBoost is having a great community of practice, and we are very active in the social media. And in the regional aspect, we have our regional workshops and our replication workshops as a project. I don't know if you want to share more, Joaquin, about this part of our project.
But at the end, in the thesis project involved different regions, different demonstrators, and as I have said before, and I think we have common problems to solve or deals to treat, is that to make it affordable, this circular system solution, it's necessary to involve all kind of stakeholders, all the society, not only administrative part, also the knowledge part, and also the more social and citizens' involvement in some cases are critical for the acceptance of this solution and the viability. When the solutions, the final user is a city, have the public procurement is a good tractor or something that you have to work with the local administration or regional administration to facilitate to reach the market this circular system solution. In other cases, no, it's more society involvement. So we have been working with the stakeholders initially to in a regional scale to analyze in each region who are the actors and involve them and whatever. Later we have tried to make co-creation and later also replication workshop. But one systemic solution, circular system solution in one place could work better than in another because the cultural aspects and the social aspects are different in different regions.
Yeah, a lot of things. And the purchase power, and depending if there is a consumer involved who needs to pay from his own pocket. I mean, where it's easy to talk about roads and that kind of infrastructure because it's public money. But if I need to take even more money out of my pocket for a systemic solution, well, then I might need to reconsider my choices. But this is interesting introduction to the second session because we will be talking about business model. Yorgos?
Yeah, I want to add something that to make an announcement as well.
Ernest?
Yes.
Just we have a question
Okay.
online also.
Okay.
I don't know if Jack, if you want to open your microphone and ask directly, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Christo Thomas gave a very nice presentation on the training, I would say, and there he emphasized also, let's say, the more skill set rather than the technical aspects, which I think is very, very important, but also very hard to do in practice. And so I was looking at things like leadership or trust or collaboration. These are all nice words. We all agree that that is important, but how would you train that to people? So I was just curious about your practices and your experiences there.
Yes, of course. The terminologies, there are a lot of nice words, like, as you told, social innovation and stakeholder engagement. Our main aim and approach is directly to technical profiles and engineers, not only, but those are our primarily target group. So I have understood also from my experience that a lot of times those profiles, they lack those soft skills. So the thing is not how to say, to give very specialized and deep, don't have the time also. This is a micro-credential program course on these subjects, but to give the you know, the influence and some and basic skills for these people to create a more holistic profile, to create more holistic profiles. And also the same goes for people like farmers for ICT tools. They will not be Excel. They will not be. They will not give the skills to work on this field, but we will try to give the skills to understand, at least to understand what is this, why this is important, the stakeholder engagement, the circular business models. So at least they can try to search and find a more skilled persons, colleagues to support them, or more specific sources. This is one part from your question. And the other part is that what we will try to do, as I told, is through this platform from within the consortium and from these surveys that we circulated, we already received what modules and what is the experience we have within our consortium. And I think that more or less we can present something useful in all these subjects. The platform will be also synchronous and asynchronous, and I hope that we will manage to have also some videos, maybe quizzes, questions. I mean, moreover than the traditional PDF and material that someone receive and just read. So try to make it as interactive as possible. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Cosmos. Thank you.